So after reading The Ink Master's Silence, I decided to try the first book of the series, which is called The Watchmaker's Daughter by C.J. Archer. I was a little surprised though because it turned out to be a completely different kind of story, like it wasn't a murder mystery for one thing. It's still set in 1890s London and written from the point of view of India, who is a watchmaker's daughter. Her father recently passed away and her now ex-fiancé essentially steals his shop out from under her with some pretty underhanded tactics by the sounds of it, and he leaves her in a really terrible position for a woman at this time. Like, she has no money, has had to sell off most of her possessions in order to scrape by, and even though she has marketable skills, like she's been running her father's business mostly by herself for the last few years, nobody will hire her. Like, she's approached almost all the watchmakers she knows in the city through her father, but for some reason, even the ones that used to be friendly towards her have been treating her extremely strangely, and she doesn't know why. So just when she's starting to get really desperate, she's offered a job by a man from America called Matthew Glass. Like, he hires her to help him look for a watchmaker that he met 5 years ago. Like, he has this really special watch that he claims can only be repaired by this person. So she agrees to take this job because she desperately needs the money, but she also finds him a little bit scary, strange, and suspicious. Especially since there have been stories lately of an outlaw from America that the police have been hunting for. So the mystery, I guess, of who Matthew is and their relationship, the people that he brought with him, and who he is, what they're doing, and the search for the watchmaker and what made the watchmaker special essentially form the main plot lines for this story. So I think this story does a good job of painting the setting and the introducing the characters for this series, but I actually liked the later one more. I found this first book a bit more stressful. I noticed in the other one that India can be a little bit naive, and in later books, because she and Matt get together, the fact that he's very suspicious kind of balances out the naiveness. But in this first book, since they aren't actually together yet, you don't really get that balance, and it creates some, I suppose, tensions or stresses or things that make me worry more, made this book more stressful to me than the other one. I also think I guess sometimes the characters' reactions were a little odd. I think you can get a feel for a world depending on what kind of bystanders you have, and this story had a lot of really indifferent bystanders. It was really weird to me how you have this woman getting manhandled by men in the street and everybody looks the other way, says nothing, and just sort of hides from it. I mean, it's not that it's inconceivable, but I feel like I would have expected at least one person to say something or try to do something or at least call the authorities, especially since it wasn't like India was a stranger to them. So yeah, it creates an atmosphere that wasn't especially enjoyable. Also, magic in this book is still very much a secret. India herself knows nothing about magic or her own talents. So the story felt the previous book that I read had more of a subtle magic feeling, whereas this one was so subtle that it was basically non-existent. It's not really a problem, it's just something that made it really different from some of the later books.